Well, I have with me the Member of Parliament for Okankwe Central, Patrick Yabuama, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, he's also a Deputy Minister Designate for Water Resources and Sanitation. And I know you've appeared before the Appointments Committee.
That is so.
Okay, have you been given the nod? There should be.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning to your viewers and my constituents. I appeared before the Appointments Committee last week, Thursday, and plenary approved of the report that was presented by the chairman of the Appointments Committee last Friday. The president this afternoon at 3 p.m. will swear us into office, and it's going to be in 2 batches. A group will be sworn in at 11 a.m. at the banquet hall, and our group will be sworn in at 3 p.m. at the banquet hall. That is what I know for now.
Okay. So we'll see how that goes. And he was supposed to have been in the studio with Abraham Amalba, who is also a legal practitioner, just like him. And he currently has an emergency and so can't make an appearance. But we still have to do the conversations. Yesterday, we had Delta Force. I know that it's not one of the subjects, but Delta Force. They were given... the ruling finally came out by the judge. They were given 2,400 each to pay as, and a bond of good behavior. They're also supposed to sign for 6 months as their punishment, so to speak, by the court. I don't know whether my terms, as far as the law is concerned, is the right way to use the terms. But what do you make of the judgment in finality?
Thank you very much. This is not a final judgment. Let's be clear on that, because I've heard of some mischief being peddled around. These gentlemen were sent to court because they had gone to the regional coordinator's office to assault him, as it were, which is a misdemeanor in any case. And they were arraigned before the magistrate court in Kumasi. They escaped and were rearrested. They appeared before the courts yesterday, and the judge rightly exercised her discretion by fining each of them 2,400 Ghana cedis. Each penalty unit is 12 Ghana cedis, so you multiply it and do your mathematics, and you get the figure that we got, I think, over 31,000 Ghana cedis. This is for escaping from lawful custody. The substantive matter of the assault has not been dealt with. So if you want to play the mischief and make the government feel bad, then you say that, oh, these people having assaulted this man were handed over with this lenient punishment. That is not the case. The substantive matter will be dealt with. I'm sure they will follow due process, and let's allow the judge to do her work. And as a party, we regret what happened. We've said it. The president has been on air. He's spoken about it. He's condemned it. We believe we are a party of rule of law. We have people who serve this great party to bring us into power. There are timelines. There are programs and projects that we feel the economy, when expanded, will incorporate everybody to make everybody live good in this country. We don't want to create a class society or grouping and make others feel bad. We want to spread and open wide the economy to ensure that everybody, wherever you are, will feel part of the development agenda of President Akufo-Addo. So I'll entreat the members of our party, whether you belong to any group. I've seen some mischief going around, that this government is not in power for 4 years. This government is in power for a very long time to implement the programs of Akufo-Addo, His Excellency the President, and post-President Akufo-Addo, who succeed him from our party and our tradition. So everybody must have this at the back of his mind, that the President will be in government 8 years, President Akufo-Addo. After him, we want an MPP person to succeed him, to continue with his big agenda.
The president will be in office for 8 years?
Yes, that is what the Constitution says. If the president...
4 years.
for 4 years and will seek re-election if he wants to. So we are not in this business for 4 years or 8 years. We are in this business to ensure that this tradition...
You want to go beyond...
Yes, it's rooted.
8 years.
Ghanaians will tend to like the ideals, the programs, and the agenda of the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition. With an Akufo-Addo president, post-Akufo-Addo president, whoever succeeds him will run a big agenda to change this country. So we are not in this business for 4 years. Let every rank and file
from the other side of the
party.
Political divide and people on social media as well as social commentators has been, the judge seems to have been lenient on the subject because the reason why they've been fined and asked to sign a bond of good behavior, they vandalized court property, went into the premises of a courtroom, etc. And that was an affront, we're told,
Roland,
to the judiciary, we're told.
You and I...
You are even a lawyer.
Yes, I have spoken against it. But you and I cannot pronounce judgment. Everything is within the bosom of the judge. Whether it was an affront to democracy, justice, vandalism, whatever, assault. Let's leave that for the judge to determine. The judge, in step 1, has exercised a discretion, rightly so, by imposing a fine on this gentleman. Nobody has seen anything wrong with that. Let's allow her to go through the due process and ensure that the right things are done. To tell the investor, what I'm happy with is that the investor community is happy because they've seen that the arms of government are being allowed to work. You could tell that there's no political influence. Everybody is being asked to follow the law. And that is what every businessman or investor would want to see. That when something like that happens, there's condemnation from the highest office, which is the president. The party has stated its position. The court is working. And that if you come and invest in this country and there's any problem, God forbid, due process will be followed.
Let's move on to the next issue, and it's about ethnic clashes, leaving 2 dead at Agbogbloshie here in Accra. And we know that it's a slum area, but 3 of the injured are said to be in life-threatening conditions. Property running into thousands of Ghana cedis were also reported to have been destroyed. We had our cameras there as well. But before we get the insights, I would want to pick a word from you before we go into the eyewitness account and what the police are saying.
Roland, it's an unfortunate situation. The Agombas are very respected people in this country. So are the Konkombas and other ethnic groups. We need to send a message out there to the world that this country, we are serious and we don't just fight over little things. This incident happened in 2014, 2015, 2016. We have a history to some of these clashes, whether Konkomba, Dagomba, and what have you. With the incident in 1994 in the Bimbila area. So some of these things tend to play out. It was an unfortunate situation. People have tried to cash in on it, especially within the Dagbon and the Bimbila area and Anumba areas. To the extent that little settlements across country, whether Accra or Kumasi, where you have these groups going about their normal duties, some of these things rear their heads, and it's not a good sight. I believe the security agencies have acted swiftly. They must ensure that they look at the reports that every other institution or agency or security committee has prepared on some of these incidents. Look at the recommendations, the findings, and what they could do to ensure that these things do not happen again. You talked about it being a slum. People do not have places to live. It's a good area for regeneration, urban regeneration, where we could build thousands of homes. I've seen that developers and sometimes government do make mistakes when it comes to what we call low-cost housing. You go and put a property or real estate or low-cost homes, let's say 40, 50 kilometers outside Accra. the person is being paid 3,000 Ghana cedis. You expect the person to leave there and come to Accra to work and also pay for such a facility. So these are areas that government could easily convert and build affordable homes.
And we'll come to the subject of slums because at least he has one or a couple of them in his constituency. Okaikwe Central, just like a community I grew up in. I think I can classify Shama as one of the slums. But let's get to the ground because we will be going live there. Gifty Ando Apia is there with her team. But as she prepares herself to get onto the mainstream and we bring her live on TV, we want to get the situation as we got it at the time the incident happened. And these are some of the feeds we got.
The police officers, some of them are giving false informations, even to the media. People are beginning to give conclusions to the matter, even when nothing has happened yet. Okay. People are saying, some are saying Concomba man stole a mobile phone. No Concomba man stole a mobile phone. No Concomba man is holding a weapon as we speak now. We have never fought anything. We have never committed any crime here. But all we are saying is that be Dagomba, being Concomba, we are one people. There is a problem that has happened. If the security is here, they should maintain peace and order. They are here and the people in there are being killed, one after the other. Our people are not even prepared. They don't even know there's anything. Somebody is here right now to speak. The wife is there. He cannot even go and pick the wife. They should give him one soldier man or even a policeman to go and pick his wife. They said he should wait. He's been waiting till now. Whether the wife is dead, is alive, we don't know.
So what you mean is that there's still the attacks ongoing in there?
It is now even starting. Now that the weather is getting dark, it's now starting. What they should have done to keep this, they have not done. They came and they are concentrated here.
You mean the police?
Yes. They came and they are concentrated here. What we are expecting is when they come, they should go down there. There's a place called Concosaba. There's a place called Brazil. These are the places that the crimes have been perpetrated.
But have you even told the police of these places?
They are aware. We told even the commanders, they tell us to wait. When we tell this one, he said the original commander is not here. We tell this one, they said this one is not there.
Since afternoon that the
and the youth, as we stand, are willing to go in there and save their own people. But the people, the security men will not even allow them to do that. Yet they will not go. So that is our worry.
Now tell me, there's been questions about how they started. Some are saying there was a phone that was stolen and all that. Tell me, what do you know about what started this tension?
It's still too early in the day. I don't want to give judgment to this matter, but I want to also debunk the allegations that it is a mobile phone. Even if it is a mobile phone, it shouldn't come from what the people are alleging. It's not a mobile phone. It's far from that. It's not a mobile phone.
I don't know. I don't know. Police didn't about to Akuno. Police, what your machiko, what Yida Nahase. If handcuff than I say, one man about you, then you come for Akuno. And so some Pentakwana, Omunqua Chiro, yeah, dear market or how, market no hammer, your market, your news in Tapabu. Yeah, your market, I am teaching, I would say, Omuche in the Panifia Chiro. When I'm mobile market, into the Brena, the market, into a mobile market, I'm and the young Musi, dead bodies near no, Baku, a pregnant woman, Bakusu, a Brent. Now, Brent and one would almost say police in our bonnet to you. Now, pregnant woman, dear, no more. Nambian Sana or my pranidia, Yantishi, Nemo, I market or Concovache, someone one, I market. I chill one and Tapanwo, and it is a sort of foreign police for mobile, or Munquachiro.
Yeah. To manage the situation. In the course of time, we realized that the tension was still brewing and then it was threatening to blow up. So reinforcement was called to come and manage the situation. A few skirmishes have taken place and people getting injured and other things. But as it stands now, the police together with their military counterparts are in charge. And the situations are under control. We are deploying here heavily. We are going to be here for as long as it will take us to bring total peace to the place.
Now, there are conflicting reports already. What exactly caused what has happened, or what information have you picked up initially?
It is early days yet for anybody to put a finger on the cause. I mean, there will be allegations flying all over, but then for police officers, you don't deal with allegation. We need to give information of veracity to the general public. So we don't want to go by any of such allegations until such a time that we have investigated and got exactly what ignited the disturbances. We don't want to hazard any guess.
Well, so we have to seek some expert commentary on this. And Dr. Nicholas Niokai is a security expert and currently with the New York University. I don't know whether we have him on the line. Good morning to you. Are you on the line? Well, so we'll get him back on stream. But what would be your responses to some of these things? Because you would think that ordinarily the security agencies should pick up some intelligence on this.
I think so, especially when we've experienced this clashes years back, 2014, 2015, 2016. So I think our intelligence agencies have to be on top of the job. They have to know the flashpoints. They have to have their men on the ground to feed them with relevant information to be able to curb some of these incidents. So I think I wouldn't blame them. Some of these things do happen. They happen in advanced countries where there's intelligence failure. But I believe with the happening of this incident, they must change their strategy, get people on the ground, feed them with the right information, put in early warning systems in some of these points or areas, and ensure that the people go about their duties within these areas freely and fairly. Thank you.
And so we have Dr. Nicholas Niokai. He's a security expert and currently is with the New York University. Good morning to you, Dr. Okai.
Good morning, Roland.
Now, especially when we've had clashes, we're told ethnic clashes of such nature, pockets of them sporadic as they are in nature. Why is it that as a country we are not always in a position to deal with them the way we are expected to?
Okay, thank you very much, Roland. I think we have a problem on our hands, and critically we have to look at it. We have to do the analysis, and we have to ensure that we come up with strategies, very comprehensive strategies that will help us. If you go back a bit to look at what happened in Kumasi, you know, if you look at the security architecture, the kind of security architecture that we have on the ground, what happened in Kumasi shouldn't have happened. We should have been able to, you know, get wind of this long ago before it happened. And something tells me that there's a problem with the lower level operational issues. And if you fast forward a bit to what happened at the courthouse, you know, it tells you that something also went wrong. You know, how can you take about 13 or 10 people to a court and a courthouse, and you don't have, you know, enough men to protect the judge and the court premises? So it tells you that we have a problem, and this is an operational problem. First of all, if I should push it forward to what we're seeing now in Abogunshi, it tells you that we have a problem with intelligence gathering at the lower level. Why is this happening? And this is where I think the president and the government will have to look at issues critically. Is it being allowed to happen? Is somebody allowing this to happen? Or this is happening because people are not doing what they have to do? And I think the entire security architecture, especially at the lower level, will have to be looked at. I want to read partisanship into this thing. I'm a Ghanaian. I know how we operate when it comes to politics. And something tells me that when it comes to lower level intelligence gathering, there is a problem. We should also look at the analysis part. Who is doing the analysis? And issues of loyalty, issues of, you know, I don't want to say a lot, but a lot of things will have to be factored into what is happening currently. Abogunshi shouldn't have happened in the first place. This is Accra. We have everything in place in Accra. We have cameras, we have people on the ground who are with some of these groups in some of these locations. And so I'm so surprised that this happened. So technically, I think we all as a nation will have to look at the security architecture. I believe strongly that there is so much partisanship when it comes to professionals in this business of intelligence gathering and intelligence analysis. And I believe strongly the government and the president will have to take very bold decisions, very, very bold decisions. For example, if I go back to the Ashanti region, I believe strongly that the entire security architecture in the Ashanti region will have to be, you know, seriously overhauled. And we need people who are operational in nature. For example, well, let me not mention names, but we have to ensure that we have policemen and women in some of these hot areas who are operational operationally more biased. We don't need like lawyers and accountants who have moved up the ranks to occupy some of these positions. What I'm seeing now is that the president will have to sit up, overhaul the entire security architecture. I'm not talking about stacking of people, but we have a lot that we can do as a nation to ensure that he gets the right information at the right time so that people can act on some of these things in a way that will help us and save us from this kind of embarrassment that we are seeing almost on a weekly basis.
Okay, if you said that we should have picked up some information, what did we mean? That we needed to have a lot more of the plainclothes civilian people perhaps walking or roaming down the streets of potential conflict areas and even potential conflict situation points to pick up intelligence, and then there will be a swift counter emergency response. Is that what you're talking about? That
Excellent, Roland. To tell you the truth, we have already, as a nation, installed these things already. These things are in place. We have people in all sort of places doing sort of things, all sort of things, gathering all sort of intelligence that should be analyzed and fed into the system. So I believe there is something wrong. There is something wrong. Don't think, in fact, we have people all over there. I believe we have people there as a nation. And I don't see why these people are not able to pick up this information, have them analyzed for the appropriate agencies to take whatever could be the palliative or preventive steps going forward.
Okay. What does it mean? It means we need an outside help? Perhaps we need people from the BNI, the Mozars, the CIAs, and the KGBs to come and help us?
No. We have the capacity on the ground. And the issue of failure, a systemic failure, is what I have a problem with. We have the capacity on the ground. We have already the needed installed capacity. So as to why the system is not operating the way it should operate, that is where I have a problem. That is why I have a serious problem when it comes to issues of intelligence. Two things. If you fail to analyze, it can lead to problems. If you fail to analyze the appropriate metadata that comes to you, it can lead to problems. If you fail to identify, something that could potentially lead to a problem, it can also lead to a problem. So I don't know whether I'm just saying this, and I'm saying it with all caution, but I don't know whether some people are refusing to do their work or not in order to make somebody look bad. And this is why I think the president just, took over power. There are systems in place. There are people manning so many, I would say, gatekeeping points. And he's supposed to critically look at the loyalty of some of these people. Very, very, very important. Else, it is going to be a weekly problem if you don't take care. If we don't take care as a nation.
You're sending shivers down my spine, but don't worry, I have to let you go. And Dr. Nicholas Ni-Okai is a security expert and currently also a lecturer on the subject of security with the New York University, helping us do the discussions. But we're having Gifty and Apia standing by, and if we have, we'll have the latest on the ground where the incident happened, Kokumba Market, Agbogloshi. And Gifty, good morning to you. What's the latest you're getting us?
Well, it's quite difficult to hear you, Roland. But if you're giving if I should take over from here, it's been the morning after bloody clashes here at Agbogloshi, the Kokoma Market or the Old Fadama area, and we are here to bring you quick updates. Well, we've driven from all the way back there, and whilst we were coming, we noticed that it's business as usual. Actually, market women selling their stuff, everything looks pretty normal. But until we got to this side, now right behind me is the onion market. But what is interesting right now is that there's a blockade a blockade actually set up by the police that is separating the onion market from the yam market. So if you follow me, this is the Sikkens area here at the Agbogloshi market, and if you follow me, I'm going to take you right to the barrier that has been created here by the police. That's it right there. And you see policemen here as well directing the traffic. Now what they're trying to do here is to make sure that there is they regulate who goes in and who comes out. What happened is that yesterday, this is the area where the bloody clashes happened. So what they're doing is try to cordon the area off and then regulate, because you do know that it's heavy traffic here all the time and people do business from every day. If you see, the policeman is just asking the taxi driver where he's going. You explain to the police, and if they think they should allow you to go, they allow you to go. So this is what is happening here this morning. It's creating a little bit of traffic, but the police deem it necessary. It is indeed necessary. So you see what's happening here. This bus has just been stopped here, and the policeman is asking the people to go off it. They cannot travel beyond the barrier that has been created there. He's asking the passengers on the bus to get off the bus, and so that the bus can turn around. The people are not happy about it, obviously, so we can see that they're engaged in an exchange there. Let's find out how they feel about this. What's your name? Okay, she's not willing to talk, but you can obviously see what's happening here. They've been asked to get off the bus so that they can just continue their journey on their foot, and they're not very happy about that. So this is one of the things that the police are doing here to maintain the peace and to deal with the situation as much as they can. We'll be engaging some of the people who live and work here to find out what they think about this whole thing. And very soon too, I must tell you, we'll be moving away from this barrier into the town itself, where those bloody clashes happened yesterday. This is the latest updates, by the way. I have here with me one of the men who work here. He's a taxi driver. He works and lives here in this place as well. Let's talk to him. You don't live here, you just work here. What's your name, sir?
My name is Abdul Jalil Bawa.
Abdul Jalil Bawa. Yesterday you heard what happened here. How does that make you feel?
Well, I wasn't here when I was already at the house when I had a call that there's fighting going around our Agbebloshi area. And this one, when I came, I noticed that there's roadblocks, and I don't know actually what took place. But I learned it involves a stealing case. Not political anyway. It's not political. Yeah.
Well, you would say it's not political, but do you know the people involved in this, perchance?
I learned it involved about 2 tribes, but I wouldn't like to mention the names of these tribes. Yeah, due to the security involved, I wouldn't like to mention the tribe, but it involves 2 tribes.
Do you feel that the barrier that the police have set up here is going to affect your business today in any way?
Affecting our business, but that's a good way. In order to prevent what is going on, in order not to overcrowd the area, but it's okay.
It's okay for you. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Abdul Jalil works here. He's a taxi driver. He's not happy about the effects that this will have on his business, but he believes that it is a necessary security measure that the police are putting in place. Earlier on, there were some women who were just passing by who were very angry, not about what is happening here, not about what the police has done, but about the situation and about the fact that there's been fights and that people have died. So just by way of very quick background, yesterday there were bloody clashes here. We understand that 2 people died out of that clash. We are yet to confirm if there were any other casualties, but we know that some people were also injured. What happened is that they're linking it to the theft of a mobile phone. They say that someone from one tribe, the Kakumba tribe, they say, stole a mobile phone and was beaten. He went away, and then his people regrouped and came to retaliate. That is the story, but it's largely described as an ethnic clash, but there are political undertones. There's no secret about that. Yesterday we heard the Member of Parliament for Odododio constituency speak to that. Let me speak to a few more people here. Auntie, your friend saying?
People show me the Mariam.
They see what
So I know me waha.
Now what has say? It's not then who here.
The pastor ya shedwa. Ye betia ni say ntokwesi wo chiri okonkomafo ni dogomba fo. Enti ebe nwa se wo mo atutia gas. E na edi America na efiri wo. Ene na mesisi matonya magu ntimi bewe. Ti mi hu an.
Enti na woniama no abehu bibia ye okay.
Pacho afi na mesika mu say me kwahwe niama na me hu say bojira na me si metie dia si wachiri ho.
So she is a trader. Yesterday she said she was in the market and then all of a sudden she heard that the Kokumas and Dagomas were fighting. The next thing she knew there was tear gas, and that was accurate because the police used tear gas to try and disperse the crowd yesterday, the very chaotic crowd. So that was what the police did yesterday. So this is her story. Let me find out from her how she feels about this whole thing. Now one kasa ufri hen.
People told me ti abeka.
Ote ufri hen.
Me fit tatale.
Ufri tatale. Enti wonye kokoma wonye dago.
Pacho me nya konkoma.
Enti de esi no sign na ofele fa.
Pacho me surompo me si me behwe me niama keke. Me pacho. Me pacho mi uni me kampo mami. Me si me behwe me niama nti na me ba enka me mampo.
Enti so president na opese police for no eye.
Me pacho omama hanju kakram, omama hanju kura. Omwa ye na hanju intimi nye adwuma ne hwe ye mam pacho.
Well, she's making a very touching appeal. All she's saying is that let there be peace, let there be calm, so that we can go about our normal business. She is from Tatali. She's neither Dagomba nor Kukumba, and she's very worried about the situation. But today she's here to check on the things that she bought yesterday. She says she has just made some purchases yesterday for her business. She's coming to check on it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come in the first place. So we're still here at Kukumba Market, where yesterday there were bloody clashes. 2 people, we understand, died. A pregnant woman involved. We're yet to confirm if there are any more casualties, and we are here. We've seen that the police has created a barrier here, regulating the movements in and out of vehicles, just so they will prevent the inside, right behind me here, they will prevent that side from being crowded. Apparently, that was where the incident, the unfortunate incident of yesterday happened. So they're regulating the movements here. I have got a very young man here with me, and I'm going to talk to him to find out what he makes of the whole situation. What's your name?
My name is Pakwesi.
Pakwesi, what are you doing here this morning?
Me base me beshemu. Me base me bekasa.
Bekasa. Then abesoka.
I do mo ye na mfata. Nti ebiso mu twa so, pese for bebo na ye bele. Nti ebiso pese for e ma se ju kakla. Nti e pa ma chow.
Then pa na pese police for ne.
Bebe se o ma se ju kakla. Ye pese to ka bebele besi wa bio. And one no.
And to kwana I don't say to kwa person to kwa bebele besi wa ha e ade e tesi pa.
Obu e hwe no biewu da gumafo na. O me konkomafo no. To kwa bebele ana ye kre edwane o park no so na ye bobo so na mu chese amafo na na de ye ko edwane ye emi de eba eno ano no
enti yes ana just send ema o fili
ema me fili aya misuro papa enti eba sa me dwane ko fie me mpie biem eno ano.
So I'm here with this young guy. He says his name is Pakwesi. Pakwesi, basically what he's saying is that yesterday they were on the field here playing football when the incident happened, and everybody was running helter-skelter, so he ran as well. What he's also calling for is he's actually making an appeal to the police here, to just like what the woman made earlier, that there should be peace. The police should do something about the situation. Now, Papa no mame way.
Papa mam lo kanta.
Ena papa way.
Awa.
90 papa say oye den no pay oye den.
Oh, fioni ahwe.
Okay, Pakwesi, thank you very much, Pakwesi. There is a young man. He says that he lives in constant fear living in this community because these fights and these clashes are pretty normal around here, and he's making a passionate appeal. So I'm going to wrap up and come over to you, Roland, in the studio. But just so you know, if you're just tuning in, we are here at the Agbogoloshi Market, Konkoma Market, and you can still see the police here trying to do their job, regulating movements in and out of the place. And just now we've seen another bus park here. The people on board this bus will have to get off the bus and walk, make their way through to the place by foot. This vehicle cannot go any further from here. This is what the market looks like, the Agbogbloshie market looks like. This is what the cucumber market looks like. This is right in front of me is the onion market. Just behind me is the yam market. And there is a barrier between the two, trying to maintain sanity here. We'll bring you some more updates on this. And this is just a day after the bloody clashes yesterday. Roland, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Gifty and Apia. At the location itself, that's where we had the bloody clashes. And Mr. Boama, you say that these are incidents that perhaps if we had picked up the right intelligence, we could have also prevented. But we have community heads for some of these sectional tribes and these worker groups. What do you think their responsibility should be?
Well, thank you. I read the advice from the MP for the area, Honorable Vigilante van der Poel, that the community heads must be involved in finding a lasting solution to some of this. He also mentioned government officials, the MPs from that area to also go into these areas to talk to them. You see, our democracy is growing, and we know that and believe that it will be very difficult for somebody to take arms to stage a coup. So some of the things or the strategies that the security agencies should be adopting or looking at is to find strategies to deal with such situations and their occurrences. Not focusing on foiling, yes, coup d'etats and what have you, but ethnic clashes, communal clashes, disputes over land, water situation, things that affect lives must engage the thoughts of our security agencies. Their strategy has got to change. They have to look at some of these things, be modern in their approach, have the right personnel, retrain their personnel, refocus or reorient them, bring them to terms with modern issues that affect or that has the capacity to bring about some of these security challenges within our communities. You heard a lady from my constituency, Abeka. She'll leave Abeka at 5 a.m. to go and work at Agbogbloshie, only to go and meet these clashes. It's unfortunate. The onion market, most of them live in Fadama, in my constituency. They are very peaceful people, calm people from the Adrawa community. They go and they are confronted with such challenges. You know, some of them, they buy these things from Burkina and Mali. So your supplier will come and you tell the person that, oh, we can't trade because there's been clashes. It has economic implications and challenges on our expected revenue as a country. So we must segregate some of these issues. We must have dedicated security and intelligence officers dealing with some of these issues across country and mapping up the effective strategy to deal with some of this by picking up early warning signals to avert some of these clashes. It's unfortunate, Roland. Okay,
so let's move on to other issues that we've put before the burner this morning. The minority in Parliament are apparently calling on SHRAJ, the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, to investigate the committee that reviewed the Ameri power deal. And we know the recommendations of the committee. The committee's report is public, and we know the concerns even that were raised of the minority at the time that the deal was being passed through Parliament, etc. Foremostly, they even had a substantive issue with supposedly financing of the ticketing and stay of the committee and its members in Dubai. The veracity, of course, we can ascertain as it now. But what are your own comments on these initial concerns raised by the minority?
Well, Roland, this is a government that frowns upon corruption. And
nobody's saying they were corrupt.
No, I'm telling you, that is what they are trying to drive at. This is hypocrisy at its highest level. One, nobody comes to sign this agreement without a component called development cost. When this agreement or this discussion was going on between the NDC government, I know they went to Akosombo, They went to Dubai, VRA team went there, there was renegotiation and what have you. All of this forms part of the development cost. Government of Ghana under President Akufo-Addo promised to review this agreement, which we believe and have found that Ghanaians were shortchanged. We are saying that the contract was inflated or padded with over $150 million. I haven't seen the final report, but we know and we have evidence based on the negotiation that has gone on. If we are claiming, let's say, 200 million for the country, and we go for renegotiation, the review committee never went to Dubai. They did all their work in Ghana. They were only invited for the renegotiation, which was only the chairman and the two of them. So if we are claiming 200...
You mean they went for talks on the renegotiation?
Yes.
Okay.
We must separate the review committee's work from the trip that the...
So the trip was just to go and talk about
how much you owe us and how we want to claim our monies back.
And now there's a possibility or a window for to renegotiate.
So if within the contract there's that development cost and you are paying for tickets and hotels, then somebody who has previously benefited or been sponsored for such trips and renegotiation or discussions comes to say that I'm reporting you to charge, then it's marks of mischief and I don't know.
But those are real concerns. If a committee,
listen,
whether
Roland,
you're in Dubai or supposed to be at the headquarters,
Roland,
or the locational headquarters of the company that was involved,
200 million,
and they are saying that we will sponsor you as a committee head or other two members involved to come to our operational location for us to talk about this, that should also send you some signals that it could compromise your neutrality.
It will never. It has never.
You're a legal practitioner. You think this situation will not compromise anybody's neutrality?
You have people who have their integrity to protect. Philip Addison will not go and stay in a hotel and take $2,000.
Well, likewise, the personalities involved who were
Roland,
negotiating the deal in the previous administration, they also had the reputation to protect. Won't you say?
That is why we will not say that because they went for the renegotiations, they were compromised. We are looking at the entirety or totality of the transaction. If I'm claiming $200 million or clawing back about $150 million for the country, and the company pays $20,000 for hotels and transportation costs,
you don't think that's significant?
How would that affect me?
You don't think that can compromise anybody?
It will never. It will never. Nobody in his right senses.
Well, somebody will say that it's surprising that a legal practitioner would be positing something. You're even a member of parliament.
Yes, I am. I am. And companies do sponsor committees who are supposed to have oversight responsibilities.
And that's cool.
Listen to me. If GRA sponsors the finance committee, if the World Bank takes the finance committee to Akosombo, if the GIZ sponsors the finance committee, are you saying that they don't have their heads screwed on and they are going to be compromised by giving them breakfast or lunch? Let's be serious as a country. I'm clawing back $150 million of the taxpayers' money for you. And part of the contract that government has is the component of development cost. And the team is sent to renegotiate the contract. And let's say $20,000 was spent on ticketing and hotels. Would you say that this noble...
Giving first-class treatment?
I don't know about first class, but I'm saying whether first class or second class or third class. Are you saying that or suggesting that spending $20,000 and taking 100...
You don't think it can soften the tone of the report?
It can never. It has even emboldened them to come up with a very strong report and recommendation to government.
Well, we know what the report and the recommendations of the committees
I must commend them. You should talk to Dr. Kwabena Donko, VRA officials, to understand some of these things. Whether when they were sent to Dubai to discuss this contract and negotiation and renegotiation, whether those things affected their thinking or their thoughts. That is for them to answer. But I'm telling you that this is a serious government that wants value for money for this country, and will not sit down and be compromised by a trip to Dubai. Well, these people have traveled, they've seen the world before, so what are they going to gain from?
Now, let me give you a
ticket,
quote by a member of the minority in parliament, and he spoke to Joy FM. He said, if no disclosure was made to the people of this country and they are only waiting for the minority to say some payments were made to them, then that is a serious matter.
Atufosin is a big joke.
He was a former deputy finance minister. He's even your colleague in parliament.
It's a big joke.
He cannot be a big joke, can he?
No, I'm saying this is a big joke from him.
Okay.
He's not. I'm not attacking.
Not his person.
No, I'm saying it's a big joke.
Pardon me also for that.
Thank you very much. It's a big joke because he, as a former deputy minister, ought to know how some of these things are done. Yes, he can go to Shraj. That is his right. But he will not achieve much because there's nothing to prove. These people have not been compromised in any way. If he has to take whatever evidence he says he's got or gotten to Shraj, that is a right reserved for him under the laws of this country. But I'm saying that we must commend this committee for saving this country so much. And we'll come and sit here one day and applaud them.
Well, very well.
We'll come and sit
but let's
here.
Look at a hypothetical
Roland, let me finish.
Please,
we'll come and
finish.
sit here one day and applaud the effort of this government and the committee and how much they've saved this country, especially when the full report is laid or given to the good people of this country. To see some of the things that has gone on, the variable cost and what have you. I don't want to preempt some of the facts. But I'm telling you, you will one day sit here and applaud the government of Akufo-Addo for saving this country so much, and also the work done by the review committee on some of these contracts. And ask yourself, if those at the time of those negotiations, I won't mention the transactions, they vary, did this country any good and merit to be called good citizens of this country.
Well, true. Granted, they are able to claw back 150 million or whatever it is that the committee recommends that the government of Ghana needs to go renegotiate on with Ameri. Let's take a hypothetical scenario. You're a counsel or a lawyer in a certain case, and you have your client, and then whoever you are debating or having a case with in court, you're investigating, you want that person to sponsor you before you get the facts of your case right? Is that it?
That is not the argument.
But I'm not saying that's the argument. I said a hypothetical situation.
No, we are not dealing with hypothetical. These are real life situations. They're real issues. They've happened. And I'm saying that it's part of the development cost of Ameri. You don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about $20,000 as against 150 million that the state is going to raise or claw back.
It's not the subject of discussion, is it? The subject of discussion of whether that action of spending that amount of money is not going to compromise them, whether they're going to be neutral, impassive, objective, fair, or not fair.
At the time they went, they had finished reviewing the contract. What they went to do is to do they went for a renegotiation. That we've established this, you put in A, we think it shouldn't have been there. We think this clause shouldn't have been there. We think the country has been shortchanged in view of these figures that you put in there. In view of that, we think the country ought to be reimbursed with $150, $200 million. That is what they went to Dubai to do. They've always been working on all the contracts in Ghana. They never went to review any contracts out there. All the documentations are with them here. So we must commend them and commend the government for that hard work. Thank you.
We know that you have to go see to some other personal matters. But before we go, let's look at this for about 5 minutes before you go. Some illegal miners in Akwete in the Eastern region, apparently they've cautioned the president to hold his fight against illegal mining known as Galamsey or risk losing 2020 as elections as a party, and even if it contests, so to speak. But we know that these are just comments from those who are into the business, have financial gains from the business, and so perhaps would not be favorable to the streamlining of the industry as it is. Your comment on this?
Well, it's unfortunate, but government has got to act. Government has got to act to save the river water bodies and to ensure that there's some sanity within the mining industry or the sector? Well, politicians always look at the next elections, rightly so. But if we don't have human beings in place or on this earth, how are we going to get the votes? Are we going to lord or rule over, I don't know the kingdom that I want to mention. But we should not be blackmailed by some of these threats. You ask the people who are sending these threats, are you happy with what you are seeing? Are you happy with the Brim, the Densu, the Pra, the Ankobra, the Ofin, which we all cherish? The Galamsey activities going around them, are we happy with it? Do we want to have good river bodies in place to be able to feed our water treatment plants? Are we going to, for the sake of monies into our pocket, ruin the lives of this country and the citizenry? No. Government will always engage them. Government will always take the right steps to ensure that we have clean water bodies, the metals, the chlorine, the mercury, the cyanide, and what have you that are used to contaminate these river bodies are checked. That is the business of government, and I don't think government has got to be blackmailed by some of these things. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And Patrick Yabuama is a legal practitioner, but also Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, and the Deputy Minister Designate for Water Resources and Sanitation. Thanks for joining me. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the day. Have you. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. And we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you on the show. Do stay on.